Hey y'all, welcome back to Mercury Speaks, where I talk all things astrology, spirituality, occult, lifestyle, all things underneath that umbrella. Okay, so this episode is going to be an astrology and crime episode. If you haven't tuned into my previous ones, go check out my previous YouTube videos. They're also my Instagram and my Twitter as well. So this case is fucking crazy to say the least, okay? I wanted to pull up Hannah Rhoden's make sure I got okay. I wanted to pull up Hannah Rhoden's birth chart. If you're not familiar with the case, um, rest in peace to Hannah Rhoden and her loved ones. Hannah Rhoden was murdered by her children's father and his family over allegedly a custody battle that she was having with them. She no longer wanted to be with him. He was not feeling that. Then they started fighting over custody, and Hannah's baby daddy and his family ended up just like killing her and I think it was five or six others of her loved ones, all in the same house. It was a fucking massacre. This happened in Ohio. So yeah, just to make sure I got it right. Yeah, this happened in Ohio. So yeah, you can Google, look up the case. It's premiered on many different true crime networks. Okay, so I put up her transit chart for the day that she passed away. I wanted to see what was going on, what was happening, what was aspecting, what was happening. And I'm already seeing she had an Aries stellium. So that already told me like exactly the type of person that she was portraying and depicted as in the true crime story. She was not going for just bowing down and allowing anything to happen to her and her child. She was not going for just settling and letting her children's father's family just do whatever. She was standing up for herself. She was fighting for herself and her rights. And that makes sense with her having an Aries stellium, because Aries typically they're not just going for just anything. Like they're going to stand up for themselves. They're going to fight for themselves. They'll go to war about themselves or anybody that they love and care about, because they're not taking no shit from nobody, period. So her having an Aries stellium, especially her moon there, and she was a mother, so I'm already knowing she was very protective of her child, and she was not just trying to allow her child to just be in any sort of dynamic. So that makes sense. Now, she had Uranus in Aries transiting when this happened. Uranus represents unexpected changes, unexpected shifts, especially where it could be shocking or life changing. And Uranus transiting her natal sun, Venus, Moon, and Saturn. Like yeah, like this was unexpected. Like. And also Aries represents Mars, war, attacks, violence, hostility. This was unexpected. She didn't even know that her children's dad and his family was plotting on this hit for months. Like they plotted this. Like they straight up did a massacre hit. Like she didn't even know that they was on a low doing that. She probably intuitively felt some type of like weird stuff going on, which is probably why she was being so rebellious and pushing back. But she probably had no clue that this was coming, obviously, or she would have been more prepared. Chiron was in Pisces um, when this happened. Pisces represents like hidden enemies, um, subconscious feelings, things that are more below the surface and under the radar. And like I said, she had no idea that they was planning this. She didn't even know how deep of a hidden enemy her children's dad and his family were. I mean, she knew, you can tell through the text messages that were shown throughout the case, but she probably didn't know the depth of how much they really hated her and wanted her to be taken out. Mars was in Sagittarius transiting her Pluto. She had Pluto in Sagittarius and Sagittarius transiting her Pluto. This Mars transiting Pluto, it just sounds like fucking war. It sounds like some crazy shit is happening. Mars transiting her Pluto, like she was definitely going through a battle with her children's dad and them. She was being boisterous about it. You know, Sagittarius is a boisterous sign. And I think her standing in her personal power, her Pluto and Sagittarius with Mars transiting at that time, like they felt a way about it. They were triggered by it. And she also had Moon in Libra transiting her Chiron in Libra. Okay, so the moon transiting her Chiron in Libra, everybody was killed except for the child. And I think one or two other children. Okay, so Hannah Rhoden's child was spared. With the moon transiting her Chiron, and you know, Libra also represents relationships, connections, partnerships. This was really not a good time for all the shit that was going on between her and her children's father. Like, it was really a battle. Like, she was really in a battlefield fighting. Chiron, you know, represents wounds and stuff like that. She was killed by her ex-lover. This is just so fucking crazy, okay? North Node and Jupiter was transiting her North Node and Mars in Virgo. So she was going through her nodal return. Okay. And rest in peace to her and her loved ones. But unfortunately, her destiny and fate was unfortunately transitioning the way that she was. You know, North Node represents your destiny, your fate, where you're headed in life. And I think on a deeper level or on a bigger picture level, this case may have been impacted her loved ones in a way to make them more aware of these sort of domestic violence situations and just the dynamics of unhealthy co-parenting. I'm sure that this case has impacted her loved ones on a level that have opened their eyes way more and made them more aware of just prioritizing mental health and things like that. Um, and it's unfortunate that she had to be a martyr in order for that to happen, but I'm sure that was the impact, and that was probably a part of her purpose. What was also going through her Mercury return and probably even holding a grudge, thinking like, I'm not fucking with it. You know, Taurus can be hella stubborn energy. So in her mind and her heart, she was just really like, I'm not going for none of this shit. I'm not fucking with y'all. Like, y'all are not taking my child. And I feel like she may have said something that may have triggered them. And that was like, okay, this is going to be the day. This is going to be the motherfucking day. Um, and it's just so unfortunate. This case is just so sad. Okay, another thing that I noticed as I was editing this video that stood out to me is Chiron was transiting in Pisces during this time that she was unfortunately killed, which was opposing her Mars in Virgo and North Node in Pisces, which I find that so interesting. You know, Chiron, again, wounds, Mars, war, North Node, destiny, and fate. Like that Chiron, Mars, North Node opposition was not easy for her, I'm already sure. Because Mars and Virgo, they can be very meticulous when they attack. Okay, I have Mars and Virgo, so I'm already knowing how that goes. So that Chiron Mars North Node opposition was not easy. She was really going through it, and it shows, unfortunately. So yes, y'all, that's all I wanted to share. Let me know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, share, repost, comment, all that good stuff. Support your girl. Please don't just look and be a weirdo. Check out my previous episodes to tune in to my Astrology and Crime series. If you know me, you know I love true crime with a passion, which is why I'm currently studying psychology to get my PhD in criminal psychology, because I'm so passionate about this, and connecting the dots with astrology is just so fucking fun to me. So, peace.